right, welcome back to the What's Next series. It's a new video and it's the finale. We just wrapped up our meet a few days ago, just about a week ago. Yeah, it's about a week ago. And we're happy. We're very happy, and I'll be explaining in this video right here how the meet went, my experience, what's the plans, or what are the plans for the future, and so forth. I'll give some backstory on why this particular meet was chosen, what's the path, and the whole breakdown. So, but before we get into all that information, I'll just break the meet down and just explain what happened at the meet. And it's not much. I'm trying to make this a very short video, and I'll explain why and so forth and so forth. Anyway, moving into squats. Before we jump into squats, just some context for the meet. I got there about 3 days earlier before the competition, so just get myself a little used to the temperature there. It's been a while since I've been in the tropics like that. So got out there a couple days before the competition, and then the day of the competition, just before we started squats, everything was feeling well. Warm-ups. Before we jump into the warm-up part, I did a couple sessions before I competed, and that was feeling really great. Like, my last training session was like a Thursday, I think it was, and I competed on a Saturday, and everything was feeling great. Squats, well, I didn't deadlift, but I did some light squats, did some light bench, and everything was feeling pretty much good. So I knew that we were going to have some positive results coming into the day. Squats was feeling more like myself after a long time, especially at a meet. My legs felt more energized. Bench felt flawless. So it was great feeling that last training session before we jumped into the meet. Anyway, straight to the meet. We got there. We weighed in at, I think, 141. Which is, I think, like 312-ish, something like that. I didn't really break down the math as yet too much on that, because I'm still trying to add some more pounds. I'm not really maxed out really on my goal weight for the year. Anyway, we got to, we're about to start warming up on squats and so forth. Now, some more context here as well. I had no handler, so my handler, my coach, he couldn't make it on because of work obligation, which was perfectly fine. And I got there, and we're about to do our squat warm-ups, so I had no handler. So it's been a while since I've been at a meet without a handler. It's been probably about 4 years, 3 years plus. So it was kind of like brand new all over again. So getting into the squat warm-ups, had no handler, had to load my own plates and so forth, which is perfectly fine. But what I was not really thinking about before was the temperature difference. So it was like 80 degrees, and it was very humid. So I was like drenched, just sweating. It was a lot of sweat, and it was very humid. So I had to basically manage my water intake, my electrolytes intake, stuff like that. I had to load my own plates and just manage all that without overexerting myself before I even get to the squat parts, just by loading plates. Yeah, it might sound a little crazy, but or a little bit over the edge, or I'm taking it too far, but it was a little challenging. So anyway, we got to squats. There was no combo rack there for the warm-up room, so I had a squat in a power rack. And those of you, if you realize by now, I squat with my hands outside or wide, so it's hard for me to get my hands inside of a power rack. So I had to like move the plates around, slide them a little bit, put my hands on the collar, on the collar part of the bar instead of inside of the collar part. Yeah, it was a whole fiasco with that. I also had it, but the reason why I'm saying this is because I had to use so much energy walking out from the power rack because of how close my thumb was to the J hook, the edge of the J hook, which was a kind of flat surface. So I had to make sure my thumbs didn't get pinched by all that weight. So to avoid getting my fingers or my thumb taken off. So I had to really focus on my walkout out of the power rack while warming up and then re-racking. So every warm-up attempt was very taxing on the body. So we got to squats. So after I was done with my last warm-up, we were ready for squats, and we started squatting. I think I opened up with 335 kgs, which is like 738-ish, I think it was. And that moved pretty well. Actually, it moved damn good. I'm lying. It moved so good. My body didn't really register the weight. I've opened heavier in the past, which is perfectly fine. This particular meet, we're trying to make sure that we don't do too much because we're not used to this this kind of environment. This first time in this particular federation and so forth and so forth. So we try to keep it as on a safe side or a precautionary level. So we opened up with 738, 325 kgs. Then we jumped to 360, I think it was, and that moved awesome. That's how I knew I was on. When I hit the second one, it moved pretty well. I don't think I have videos on those. That's something else I have to discuss as well. But the meet, I don't have videos on those, but the second one moved pretty damn well, so I can't really complain. And then the third one, as soon as I was done with the second lift, I walked to the back, and I was getting myself ready with my my liquids and so forth. And I started to, I realized that my right leg was now cramping up. It was starting to cramp, and I couldn't really feel it that much, and it was kind of a weird sensation. So I tried adjusting my knee sleeves. It wasn't the knee sleeves. And so at this point now, I'm like, okay, I don't have a right leg right now. So I was trying my best to get some blood flow to drink some liquids, some electrolytes, whatever I can. Had a banana, which is all within a couple minutes. Try to see if it would help, but it didn't help much. But it was enough. So as I got onto the bar, and I unracked it from my third, which was 375 kgs, 726.9 or 720. I mean 826.9 or 827. I call it 827. And after unracked it, automatically I knew that, oh damn, my right leg is completely dead now. So as I unracked it and I got into my squat stance, and the ref was like, squat, I knew I couldn't move my feet anymore after that. So I took like a couple seconds just to like I was wiggling my quads and trying to feel my hamstrings. And every now and then, once I was wiggling it or playing with the muscles, I had a little sensation of where I actually felt it. So I had to time it correctly, where when I felt it, I had a squat. So it was like an on-off sensation. So I had the bar on my back, and I was about to squat, and I was waiting for the sensation. So as soon as I felt the sensation of, okay, your legs are there, I squat. So I hit the hole, came out of the hole, and we were good. We got a successful squat. Now that's a PR. So we're gonna take that. If anyone knows how the prep was going, Squats were very inconsistent in terms of how I felt. Like squats were moving in training, but they felt heavy, then they felt light, then it felt okay, then it was heavy. So it was never like every single week squats were feeling great. No, all the weights were moving, so it wasn't really a big concern. It's just that it was not really a confidence booster going into this meet. Know that one of my main lifts, which is my main lift, squat, is not it's not clicking like it should. So and that was squats. So squats out of the way, 375 kgs, 827 pounds. Hit the hole, boom, great, awesome. We got it. So moving on to bench now. Bench was, I think, the most consistent lift for the entire prep or entire season coming into this meet. We had a minor pec issue or pec tweak earlier or late. I think it was late last year. Just after my last meet, and it was just annoying because we were going so well, and all of a sudden, boom, pec issue. We had to pull back everything back. We had to take a time. Coach gave me some. Coach prescribed a few exercises, different ones, and we just put it all together back. So now, as we got into the prep for this meet, everything was moving pretty well on bench, but I didn't know how well it was moving. I mean, we kept it pretty intense without going too hard in training. And then midday, I think I opened up with 215, which is like 460 something, 450 something. Then we jumped to 225, which was like 490 something, and then we jumped to 230, which was basically 507. So we ended up with 507, but the way 507 moved, it was ridiculous. Like I unracked it, had the start command, came down to the chest, had the press command, and I personally was expecting a grind. No, this bar flew off my chest, and I was pretty shocked at that as well. I was like, wow. So I'm excited about that because I want to see how much bench will improve going into the next meet. So we're pretty excited about that. So that's something to definitely look forward to. All right, moving into deadlifts. Guess let's pull this video on. Huh? I'm not trying to talk all day. Moving into deadlifts. Warm-up was feeling okay. I knew I was running out of gas. And at the back, I was chalking my hands heavily. And I knew that the bars were slipping a little bit at the back while warming up. But I knew that my body was now getting taxed from moving all the plates, for loading up on squats, unloading on squats, loading up on bench, offloading on bench, and then now I gotta load up my own plates for deadlifts. So I'm doing extra stuff. Now, I'm not mad, not complaining. It is what it is. It's just that I was so taxed. But I explained to you what I've learned in this entire whole process later on. But anyway, deadlifts, we opened up at 305. As soon as I pulled that, as I got to the top, the bar started slipping instantly. And So now I was like, oh, so this is how it's gonna go. So I automatically knew it was gonna be a fight into the third one. So I keep applying chalk as much as possible. They were cleaning the bar off as much as possible as well. And second one was okay, but my grip. But now I normally hold the bar like towards like in my fingers mainly instead of my hand. But it was slipping from there, so I had to like bring it up a little bit closer just to get some more meat under it. And the second one I did that, it felt better than my first. So there wasn't much slippage there. So now, like I said, the bar is much higher in my hand than usual. But I couldn't risk putting it lower there because I won't have anything to play with if it starts to slip. So my third one, after my second one, I realized that okay, I'm getting gassed now. I can definitely feel that fatigue is finally here, and I'm running out of energy to make a big pull. So decided, I think my second pull was 325, which was 716, and then my third attempt was gonna be, correct me if I'm wrong, 340, which is like 750, and yeah, we tried to pull it. Got all the way to the top. About to lock out. I was struggling to lock it out. Now I'm a good grinder, so I'm waiting. I'm holding it and I'm starting to bring my hips in. And as soon as I bring my hips in, the bar started rolling in my hands and started opening up my fingers, and basically slipped out completely because I felt the initial slip, and then it started just peeling my whole entire hands thing. So I had a little tear right here. And that contributed to the slippage because, like I said, the bar doesn't really sit that high in my hand. It sits a little lower, but since it was so humid and so hard, I didn't want to risk putting the bar that low into my hands. Anyway, we missed that third one. Went 8 for 9. Ended up with 930 kg total, which is 2,050 pounds, and that's the meat. And the overall time frame and how the meat was ran and everything, it was great. I mean, I have no complaints on the meat. I'm happy that I've experienced that kind of environment in terms of it being hot, in terms of the training facility, and or the warm up room, and that aspect. I'm happy I experienced that because I think as you get more more serious or more get to a higher level in terms of your lifting career and so forth, you tend to forget the grassroots to the local forum or those kind of settings because for the last 3+ years I've been at big meets and everything is like pretty much tailored to the environment for you to be successful. But I think that every now and then we tend to forget that where most of the meets actually happen. They happen in gyms. They happen at local places and so forth and so forth and so forth. So it was great experiencing that. Plus on top of that, it's great to experience that because now, since it's like basically a refresher of how it is at that level, I can now relay or help someone if they're going to do a meet in an area like that or an environment like that or that type of setting, what to expect, so I can use my experience to help somebody else going to do a meet in that nature for the first time. So overall, that was the meet recap. Squat went well. Had some cramping. All is good. Bench flawless. Deadlifts, bar was slipping, and then we ended up with 8 for 9. So you can watch the videos now. It's gonna be a very short clip of what happened. There's no extra lifts. Just basically my squat, my bench, and my deadlift, and my missed deadlift. So after that, I'll explain to you the plans and so forth, the future, where I'm going and what I'm trying to do, and so forth and so forth. Enjoy the videos. All right, so you guys just saw the meet, the little recap that I did. I said a lot about the days before the meet, day of the meet, squat, bench, and deadlift, and you guys get the whole picture or as much as possible. I'm sorry if I'm not a good translator for your words. Come to the meet situation. Anyway, it was a great meet. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to have competed at that particular meet. Now, let's get into the whole reason why, how, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth, in terms of me doing this meet. So, most of you who are, if you don't know, I originally started powerlifting in 2020, February, I think, 15th or 16th, or somewhere around the Valentine's Day. That was my first ever powerlifting meet. And just before I started my powerlifting meet in February 2020, I was looking up who particularly was the top person in the weight class that I was competing against, so I can have some general idea or numbers to look forward to or what to aim for as time progressed in my lifting career, so to speak. So once I pulled that up or searched that information, Dennis Cornelius, his name popped up at the time as one of the top lifters, and the federation he was competing under was or the head banner or the head authorization or authority was the IPF. At the time, USAPL was under the affiliation, was an affiliate of the IPF. So IPF, the world stage, that was initially or at that moment, that was what drew my attention. So I saw that, I saw the numbers, I looked at all the weight classes, and I said, okay, this is where all the top lifters, so to speak, are going to showcase their talent. So at that moment, I realized that I need to get to that stage, and as much as I'm someone that is always thinking that I can do anything at any given time, I have to be a realist. I have to be real with myself and realize that it's going to take some time to get to that level or to get to that stage. So I made a plan, made a promise to myself. I'll get there one day. I'm not competing IPF world stage, but I had no particular time frame when or how, or a particular goal in terms of time frame. So there was nothing like that. So there was no pressure. I just wanted to start off powerlifting. So I started off powerlifting in the first federation I did, which was USPA, and I did 3 years there, and it was pretty well. I mean, it was good. I learned a lot. It was the foundation of what started this whole entire journey of mine. So I did about 3 years there, and competed at a couple of international meets. Traveled for one, competed in Australia, and then I switched over to USAPL in 2023. And at that time, the USAPL had already split from the IPF affiliation part, so they were no longer a part of the IPF. So joined USAPL, and at this moment, I'm now competing against a lot more talented or stronger lifters. And my first USAPL Nationals, I got second. And then my other USAPL Nationals, I got first. So I was progressing nicely. Nothing too exciting, at least in my eyes. So it was just a matter of time for me to move on to the next step. So I weighed my option. With my option, and I looked at both parties in terms of USAPL and the IPF stage. How am I going to get to that stage? How am I going to do it? What's the path? So forth and so forth. So the agenda was to get there. The question is, how am I going to get there? So after I won USAPL Nationals, even before then, the objective was to move on to the next big stage, to compete against some of the top lifters in the world, and to be on that particular stage. And I'm in the 120 plus weight class, so the 120 plus champion, his total is about 2,500. 1100 plus kgs, something like that. So his total is pretty big, and it's a major target. So if anyone knows who I am, or have some kind of insight of how my think box works, I'm always choosing the hardest target. I don't like the easy way. I like the hard way in terms of challenges and so forth. So I decided, let me go ahead and try and see what I can do in that particular weight class, the 120 plus weight class, or super heavyweights. So we decided to add some pounds on. I was always about 280, 290-ish. So we're going to be bulking up to about 320 max, 325-ish max. And then we're going to go with that. And then we're going to try and give it a go. Now, there was a decision that was needed. I had to decide if I was gonna compete under the PLA banner or whatever banner there is for me to get to the IPF stage. So initially, I was gonna choose my home country, which is Guyana, which is in South America. They're part of the IPF affiliation. So that was my initial plan, to go compete with that particular federation to get to the IPF stage. But due to I would say lack of communication on their part, a better opportunity arose, and it was presented to me, and contacted them, and which is the USVI, US Virgin Islands, contacted US Virgin Islands, and they vetted me, and they accepted me, and I competed at their nationals a couple of days ago. I think that's the place for me to be. It's like you want a particular path, but you can't really choose your path sometimes. Sometimes your path chooses you. And I think this particular path that I'm choosing is the best fit for me. I think it's the best of both worlds. The team there that I met a couple of days ago at nationals, everyone, it felt like home. It felt natural to be a part of that setting, that group, that unit. So I'm happy for the opportunity. I'm very, very thankful for USVI for giving me this opportunity to go compete under their banner at the IPF World Stage. And that's basically the reason why I've switched from USAPL to the IPF stage, or IPF affiliate stage in USVI, going into IPF Worlds 2025 in Chemnitz, Germany. So, something to look forward to for 2025, my next competition. Unless some ridiculous nonsense happens, I will be competing at IPF Worlds 2025, Chemnitz, Germany. So, I just want to take this moment right now to just thank everyone. Period. That everyone that's been instrumental in helping me achieve this goal of mine. I mean, we have a lot of names. There's a lot of names, but there everyone that had something to do. Even if you were a referee at a meet, a coach, a friend, a training partner, friend of a friend. If you were a part of this journey, if you were a part of this, getting me to this stage, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. Me directors, past Federation me directors, stuff like that. I mean, I don't think I don't think this journey was somehow just about me doing my best to make it there. I think it was a combination of a lot of things, and just to have that core group of people or whoever it is, just keep that encouraged me to do this and keep doing this. It's been tremendous. So like I said, I'm thankful to everyone, or for everyone, for keeping me motivated. And with that being said, anyone out there that think that a goal is too massive or too big, or it's too daunting, that's the right goal for you. I always believe that your dreams, your goals should give you nightmares. It should be so ridiculous. It gives you nightmares. And the reason why I say that, because if your goal is something so ridiculous, even if you don't get to the top part of the goal or you don't achieve the goal, just imagine what you can achieve in the process of trying to get to that goal. That in itself is a rewarding, excuse me, that in itself is a rewarding feeling. And you're going to reap benefits along the way. Every journey has many steps and many little small achievements that people take for granted. I just want you to think about it for a second. If something is so ridiculous that you think this goal is too hard, go ahead for it. Give it your best shot, and you'll see what you'll gain in the process. And I'm not just talking about personal gains. I'm talking about in terms of friendship, in terms of who you may inspire along the way, who you may help along the way, just by trying to do something that seems ridiculous, and you may motivate someone else as well to do the same. So with that being said, we're 14 weeks out. 14 weeks already for our next competition. So there'll be a few changes coming up in terms of my diet, in terms of my sleep, in terms of everything. Yes, I don't do all that stuff. I've never done anything like that. But this time I'll be adding some more. I'll be tweaking my recovery and my program and everything else. We're gonna be tweaking it to make sure that I am at my best and I can do something special at my first IPF event. So hopefully, if we get there in one piece, the personal goal is top 5. And then comes the real goal, top 3. And no, I'm not gonna say that part. Top 5 is the first goal. Top 3. I take it back. Primary goal is top 3. Secondary goal, top 5. If you don't get top 3, it's perfectly fine, but that's the goal. Get top 5, that's even better. It'll be my first IPF World Stage event competition, and I can't wait for it. I just hope that everyone that's helped me along the way has encouraged me. Hope that I'm making you guys proud, and I'm very, very thankful for you guys. And yeah, thank you. That's all I'm gonna say. 14 weeks out, and my next series will be starting next week, and it will be the road to IPF Worlds, or whatever I may call it. But thank you once again. I'm gonna end this off here because I think I'm blabbering my mouth. I don't want to get too emotional, because you know your boy don't do that. Don't do that right here. All right, thank you everyone. I appreciate it.